What is going on, guys? It is Evan from Coaster Revolution, and I'm very excited because today I'll be doing an amusement park ranking and park review for Kennywood. Kennywood is another park that I visited for the first time this summer, and I'm super excited to rate this awesome park. Spoiler alert, it's a good one. I'm very excited. Let's jump right on in here. So again, we're using the same categories as I did in the King's Dominion video. So we're looking at coasters, ride ops, overall experience, pricing, atmosphere, staff, park ops, theming, food, and cleanliness. As always, I'll be rating these metrics based on a scale of 1 to 10, and I also have this category for weight. I didn't describe this last time, but the weight is basically how much importance I hold that category to. So the coasters for me are the most important, so it's weighted 10, and that'll get multiplied by whatever I rate it into a total score. So I'll be using this total score down here to rate parks to other parks and kind of compare them once I rate some more. So similar to last time, we're going to start off by going through my tier list video and putting the number of elite, great, good, okay, and bad rides here listed so we can get a better idea of how to rank these coasters. So I'm looking at the image from my tier list video. Make sure to go check out that video if you haven't already. We have 2 elite coasters or better at Kennywood. We've got 3 great ones, 2 good ones, and 1 okay one and 0 bad ones. So these are pretty awesome ratings. Of course, Kennywood doesn't have too many coasters, which will hurt them a little bit, but they do have 2 elite rides and a lot of great rides and good ones. There's really no bad rides here. No bad roller coasters, that is. So we'll definitely take that into account when rating their roller coasters. So I'm going to give Kennywood a 7 out of 10 for roller coasters. And the reason being is because they have 2 elite rides, so that automatically, in my book, puts them at least a 7 out of 10. And they have a lot of really good supporting wooden roller coasters, but they just need a few more. You know, they only have 8 roller coasters. I think they need a few more to bolster their lineup before I rate them any higher than a 7. Unfortunately, they don't have a lot of land, so I don't see them building any new roller coasters in the near future, which is okay because it works out for Kennywood. But yeah, the top 2 of Phantom's Revenge and Steel Curtain are a really solid 1-2 punch. And then you also have a lot of old historic woodies that have buzz bars and therefore really good airtime that are in the great category, like Thunderbolt, Jackrabbit, even Racer's pretty good. So really solid lineup of coasters, definitely worth visiting just for that. Moving on, we're going to move on to ride operations now. So the ride ops really surprised me. You know, I've heard from some people that, you know, the ride ops at Kennywood aren't very good, but in my opinion, they were really good. They were solid overall. And of course, this can change day to day. Everyone's experience and depending on who's working and whatnot can totally change an experience at a park. But for my single experience at Kennywood, I'm going to rate them a 7.5 out of 10 for the overall operations. So some of the rides don't have very good capacity. For example, Steel Curtain has horrible capacity, especially if they're only running 1 train, which they usually have to because of the ride malfunctions. And also Exterminator has very poor capacity. So that's not necessarily the park's fault, but I'm going to knock them a point or 2 on that just because it does affect, you know, ride operations in a lot of ways. We are going to come back to overall experience so I don't spoil any of the other topics I'm about to talk about. So moving on next to atmosphere. The atmosphere at Kennywood was absolutely phenomenal. You know, one of the best park atmospheres I've experienced to date, just because, you know, there were so many families and everyone was having fun. It was just incredible. You know, they kept a lot of like the historic old amusement park, you know, stuff. It just has that feel of an old historic amusement park, but it's not like dilapidated or in disrepair at all. So it's just, the atmosphere was just so great. It's one of those experiences where you're in a place and everyone is just having so much fun that it just rubs off on everybody else, and it was just an incredible time. And the only reason I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is just because, you know, the theming is not really there to enhance the experience too much, but the old amusement park, you know, setting absolutely works here. So that's why it's still an incredible 9 out of 10. As for pricing, I'm going to say this is about the same as King's Dominion. So it's a 8 out of 10. It's definitely worth the price of a ticket. In my experience, I think a ticket's about $50 when I went back this summer in 2022. And I went on a Thursday, in the summer, and it was relatively crowded, especially in the afternoon, but it was still well worth the wait. Next, the staff and the Park Pride. It seemed like there was some Park Pride here, and the staff were all right. You know, I had a few interactions that were good, but there wasn't anything outstanding, and a lot of the employees seemed to just try to keep to themselves and not interact too much. So I'm going to give them a 6.5 out of 10. So still above average. You know, there wasn't anything bad or anything. You know, employees were helpful and doing their jobs correctly. So that's why I'm going to give them a 6.5 out of 10 on the staff and Park Pride. Again, this is just on a 6-hour visit on one day, so this could definitely change on each visit that you go to the park. Now, park operations. These are, again, park operations is like how everything is running, not including the rides. It seemed like the park operations were running really smoothly. It was crowded when I went. Lines for the French fries, the famous French fries or whatever, on that potato place, were super long, but they got through them pretty quick. Even despite cash register malfunctioning, they still managed to overcome that problem. Also, like, the security lines were running really smoothly. It seemed to be well run, although they didn't let people in the park early for some reason. I don't know if that's new this year or what, but the park opened at 11, and they didn't let anyone in through security or the gates until 11. So I'll knock a point or two off for that and a couple other things that I won't mention, but I'm going to give them a solid 7 out of 10 for park operations. Theming is definitely where they could definitely use some help, but again, it's like an old amusement park setting, so it definitely works for them. But when I'm comparing from park to park, I have to draw a line somewhere. So in terms of theming, of traditional theming, you would think, comparing to other parks, like even Six Flags, Cedar Fair, SeaWorld, not necessarily known for amazing theming. Kennywood's probably even less so about theming, so I'm just going to give them a 4. Now, moving on to food, I don't normally eat at amusement parks, as I've said in the past, but I had to try their famous fries, and they did not disappoint. The fries were amazing. But I'm definitely going to go over to the website real quick here and see what other kind of food options that they have before giving them a rating. Alright, so we're on the Kennywood website. Move my camera so I'm out of the way here. So these are the other kind of restaurants they have at Kennywood. So let's just read through here what we got. Auntie Anne's, End Zone Cafe, like game day food, snacks, it looks like. Favorite fried treats at Lucky. Parkside Cafe, looks like they got salads. That's good. Some healthy options for sure. Pizza Warehouse. Rogue Barbecue, so like barbecue places. Snackosaurus, Potato Patch. That's the name of the famous fries, the Potato Patch. They've got like bacon cheese fries and bacon fries. They're so good. Definitely worth it. If you're at Kennywood, you definitely gotta make some time to go and try their fries. Cotton candy, popcorn. Looks like ice cream at Golden Nugget. Of course, Johnny Rockets. There's a lot of different stuff here. I don't think the quality is quite as fresh as, say, some of the Cedar Fair parks, so I might rank it a little bit lower. Let's get back over here to our spreadsheet. So I might rank it a little lower just from what I'm seeing. Just a lot of fried food, a lot of like fair kind of food, which is fine. I'm sure they still do have a lot of good options, it looks like. So I'm gonna give them like a 6. Well, actually, their potato fries are good. I'm gonna give them a 7. 7 on food. Again, I didn't eat anything else other than the fries, so I'm not the most qualified person to rate them on food. Now, for cleanliness and landscaping, there wasn't a whole lot of grass or landscaping to be had just because the park is so packed in. So there wasn't much of that. But the park was clean. I don't remember anything sticking out to me as being dirty or anything. So I'm going to give them a pretty good rating. Above average, 7 out of 10. And then going to my overall experience, it was a wonderful day at Kennywood. Didn't have any issues. Steel curtain was running. I was so thankful for that. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get that credit while I was there. Guests were great. Everyone was having a good time despite it being crowded. Everything was functioning properly and moving smoothly. So it was a good experience at Kennywood. I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10 for overall experience, bringing us to a total of 72 out of 100, or 7.2 on average. So 7.2 stars out of 10, which in my book is a really solid park, and right about where Kennywood falls, I believe. Total of 543. Again, I'll use that number in future videos to rank other parks against each other. So my overall verdict is it's an above average park, definitely in the upper tier of independent parks in my opinion, so worth a visit for sure, especially for Phantom's Revenge and Steel Curtain. Alright, so moving over to the park map for my plan of attack on how to take down all of the credits at Kennywood in the most efficient time possible. I have very strong opinions on Kennywood and how to do this, because it can be quite disastrous and be a very slow day if you do this the wrong way, in my opinion. So, you're going to park over here and walk down towards the front gate, which is at the bottom of the screen. Let me get my pen up. Okay. So we're going to enter down in this plaza over here. And then you got to go underneath the famous tunnel, which can flood if it's raining a lot. So just be wary of that. That they might not be able to let you out that way if it rains a lot. But first things first, when you're entering in the park, look to see if Steel Curtain is testing. It's tall enough that you can see it from just about anywhere in the park. Absolutely check to see if it's testing, because if that is running, you go straight for Steel Curtain. No questions asked, that's the first thing you do. So we're assuming Steel Curtain is running. We're going to go straight to the back. We're going to pass Skyrocket 2. We're going to pass, I believe that's Jackrabbit and Racer. We're going all the way back here to Steelers Country, which, side note, I hate the Steelers, but it's a cool ride and cool theming and nonetheless. So back here where the Steel Curtain entrance is, you're going to want to do Steel Curtain first thing, absolutely. A lot of times they're only running one train, if it's even running at all. It's very, very prone to malfunctioning, which is unfortunate. That Kennywood has to deal with that, and hopefully SNS can work out all of the kinks and the problems with it. Steel Curtain first, no matter what, if it's running. So after Steel Curtain, then instead of doing all these credits near the front of the park where everybody else is going to be going, the next thing you want to do is book it to the other side of the park. No matter what, you want to do this. If you're trying to get all the credits, that is. If you're not trying to get all the credits, then, you know, do what you want, have fun, and go whatever path you want. But I always like to have a big plan of attack and when I go into a park, especially when I have limited time. So we're going to go from Steel Curtain all the way over to Exterminator. So we're going to cross the park here, you know, trying to make the quickest path as we can. You know, if it's a relatively slow day and there's nobody on Jackrabbit, you can grab that credit while you're walking past here as well. But the main priority here is going straight to Exterminator, which is all the way over here in this building. Right there. So that is where you're going to want to go next, because Exterminator has some of the worst capacity I've ever seen of any ride. I think it's a Mauer spinning wild mouse. Sometimes they only load the cars with one train, or I mean with one person on either side, so 2 people in each car. And the line is just going to go so slow. When I got in line, I was like, oh, this is going to be, you know, maybe 5 minutes. Because we were in the room right before the station and just had to go up the ramp and we were at the station. But no, it took us 15 minutes just to go through that small little section because it has such poor capacity. So this could have a nightmare of a line if you wait to do it later in the day. Trust me, it might, you know, it usually garners just as long of a wait as Steel Curtain, if not more. Sometimes it could be a 2-hour wait, which is absurd for a wild mouse. After you're done with wild mouse, there's a lot of different ways you can go. You can go back to Thunderbolt if you hadn't gotten that one yet. You can head over, this is what I did, you can head straight to Phantom's Revenge next, which is where I'm going to go. The entrance is kind of hidden. It's over here underneath the first drop, which is over here by like number 39. It's really hard to find. It's not really well highlighted on the map either. But yeah, this is where the entrance is. So the queue runs all the way up to the station up here over by Jackrabbit. And Phantom's Revenge is an absolutely amazing ride. It seems to be pretty reliable too. It has good capacity. Usually run at least 2 or 3 trains. You can usually bet on this one being open and have no issues with it. I rode it about 5 or 6 times on my visit, so it was a great ride and very re-rideable. Absolutely so fun. Amazing airtime too. So after you're done with Phantom's Revenge, again, you can pretty much just go and get the rest of the credits on your own pace, your own time. Assuming we already did Thunderbolt, I'm just going to head back. By this time, it's probably getting closer to lunchtime if it's crowded. So, going to head back to the front of the park while everybody else is making their way around to get some food or to go to the back of the park. Going to head back over here to Skyrocket. and get the credit on Skyrocket. This is probably going to be at least a half an hour wait just because of its proximity to the front. So there's going to be a line for this no matter what. You just got to wait it out. And we're going to kind of follow our footsteps of what we did earlier from when we did Steel Curtain and go back and do Jackrabbit again. This will probably have about a half an hour wait. And then go do Racer, which will probably have about the same. So yeah, we got this like triangle action going on here. Also, another important area to highlight. Let me get a different color here. Let's go with navy blue. I'm going to circle it over here. This P on the map is the potato patch. That's where you want to get your fries. Right there. You definitely want to go and get your fries from the potato patch. It'll have the line will look pretty long, but usually they can crank through people pretty quick. They also have some cool water rides and some of the best flat rides and most unique old flat rides, you know, of anywhere. You know, they have the kangaroo over here somewhere. I think it's like in this general area. Kangaroo. And also the turtle, which is a classic flat ride over here. And another really cool flat ride, number 36 over here. I didn't get a chance to ride it, unfortunately, because I was really pressed short of time. And these flat rides can surprisingly get a pretty long line just because so many people love them. You know, kids absolutely love them. But yeah, that's pretty much the guide to the map and the plan of attack you want to do. So just important things to remember. Steel Curtain, absolutely #1 priority. If you see it open, go straight to it. Don't waste any time. Get there early in the morning so you can get to Steel Curtain right at rope drop or right when you get in. And then from Steel Curtain, go all the way across the park. It seems silly to do so, but trust me, you want to go straight to Exterminator second after Steel Curtain early in the day while it doesn't have a big line. And then the rest of the coasters are going to be about probably a 15-minute to 30, 45-minute wait, depending on how busy it is at the park, of course. Even Skyrocket doesn't have that horrible of capacity compared to Steel Curtain with its maintenance issues and Exterminator with its poor capacity. Alright, so in summary here, again, 7.2 out of 10 is what I have Kennywood rated. It's definitely one of the best independent parks in the United States, so it's worth a visit for sure. They only have 8 credits, but there are a couple of elite coasters here, and some awesome classic Woodies and classic flat rides, decent food. It's really cool to see the old amusement park theming and stuff. The crowd is awesome, the atmosphere is great. You'll definitely have a good time, I think, at Kennywood. So, in essence, I would highly recommend this park for sure. It's an above average park. So that's all for the Kennywood park review video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe for more roller coaster content coming your way. And make sure to leave a comment down below if you have any other differing opinions on any rides or any experiences you've had at Kennywood. Let me know what your favorite ride is there. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.